In this next video, I'm going to be showing you paintings that I have not completed, and I'm going to discuss what I was thinking at the time, and we are going to be looking generally at the artwork that artists don't really want you to see. So let's begin. So I have collected them all up and dusted them off, and that is a whole pile of unfinished works that you see there in front of you. Some of it might even be kind of cringeworthy, but we are going to go look through these and we're going to analyze what went wrong and if they are really as bad as what it seems. Okay. All right. So I did a series of wine bottles. This was commissioned by the owner of a restaurant that I was still working in at the time. I was waiting tables. Must have been about 2009. I did a whole series of these. Now that I look back at it and I see the paint that I used must have been quite a cheap quality paint. Looks very faded. But otherwise not bad, eh? Yeah, some early work. Here's another one. It's also part of this series. You know, I had quite a nice ambient feel at restaurant. I was actually like painting it in the restaurant and just putting bottles down and have you. But yeah, wow. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, so this painting, I really enjoyed painting this. Created a beautiful sky. And it's such a tragedy that I actually found it here in a crowd of paintings, or in a pile of paintings that I forgot about. But I can see what I did wrong. I varnished it with a hardware varnish. Such a tragedy, you know. Always use the best possible art materials for the job. This was me taking a shortcut and causing myself quite a heartache. This could have been up on somebody's wall, actually. Very nice little piece. Look at it. Ah, such a tragedy. Okay. Early piece. Was one of my early bushveld scenes. I don't like this one. I think this is just too busy and all over the place. It lacks a focal point. But yeah, you know, this is how you learn, by making mistakes. And sometimes you go back and you look at these things and you can actually see, wow, you've come a long way. Sure. All right. Another early bushveld painting here. I think it's got a lot to do with my early materials wasn't such a good quality, and the colors faded quite a bit. It's not bad, you know. It's a nice little bushveld. I don't know if I should varnish it, eh? Just maybe do a bit of a revival project. Sure. Okay. Blue gums. Done in acrylic. This is when I was still going through an acrylic phase, working with acrylics. Acrylics was too flat for me. I much prefer the textures of oils and things. It's not a bad painting. I had it in a couple of exhibitions. I remember It's just, I didn't get as much traction as the other stuff, and people just were so much more into the oils. I guess I just lost interest in this. Anyway. Okay, so this is some studies I did of the Drakensberg. This one went to my forgotten pile just recently, actually. I was too much in a hurry. I don't think I planned this correctly, I don't think I planned it well enough. And I was too impatient with it. I often get impatient with small little pieces. I love painting big. But sometimes, you learn a lot out of these small pieces. They teach you a lot of things. I just feel that this one's all over the place. Maybe I'll get back to it, or maybe I'll reattempt doing this scene, because it was really a beautiful scene out there. We were hiking at Alpine Heath when I did this. But yeah, the next one. This was a trip to the Cederberg, also quite recently. And I just didn't complete it, Another one that I must just complete. I don't think the composition's too great, but if I completed it, it could look like something, So yeah, and then, wow, okay. Well, this has just gotten to the block-in phase, I lost interest here pretty quickly. Don't know why, but maybe I can look up the reference and just carry on and finish this. I was getting experimental with different formats, square and panoramic. And this is also actually Alpine Heath. Also just an experiment. I was going for more looser feel with the paint brush work and all that. It's quite a couple of years ago now. And this must be my ugliest painting ever. I don't know, it's just, nothing is happening here, and it's so green, so green and so pale, and yeah, I was still painting on stretch canvas. I don't know, I don't like stretched canvases. They annoy me. I don't like the give they give. I like a nice hard solid surface like that of a board. It gives me a nice, I can feel the rhythm and work my brush marks much better than this bouncy kind of a feel. I know some people love it. It's just not me. Okay. So here I did some more bottles. It's actually some incredible brush marks. There's a few things that I could have done differently. I could have made it more dramatic. Hey, maybe I can even, just get back into this and vamp this up, hang it up on my own walls. Also back from the restaurant days. I've got another one here. 2 wine bottles and some grape leaves. It's actually quite charming, I like the warm feel. Maybe I should just do some wine bottles again, eh? Okay. So I did this quite a few years back, probably about 10 years ago or so. Now we're looking at about 10 years ago that I did this. It was completely out of my imagination, out of my head. I was trying a different style back then, something a little bit more cartoony. Yeah, I don't know. I did a lot of work like this actually, where I just purely focused on pushing work out from my imagination. It's good exercise to do that. Similar scenario. I think this is acrylic again. Me working in acrylic, and I think I just started topping it off with oils. Also, mountain scene, and I had no references. I just winged it on this. Totally just grabbing a brush and painting from the imagination and see what unfolds. It's a good exercise. So this one is going way back. We're looking over 20 years at least. A lot of palette knife, a lot of texture work. Was experimenting a lot with textures back then. I had some interesting ideas, you know. The roughness, the unfinished look with the poplar trees. It's probably an area that I can probably go and explore more. So yeah, a lot of good things come out of this. These paintings that you just push one side, you know. So this is an acrylic painting of a long-crested eagle, and this is going back 25 years ago. I was really just painting birds. That was all I was painting at one stage. And yeah, it's just, I never really continued. I should have continued. Maybe I'll still do a couple of birds. Yeah, but yeah, I did some birds, and then this is another early landscape. It's become really dirty over time. I never finished it. I was looking for more expressive work in my modeling and what have you. So I went through quite a lot of phases, experimented with different styles, and some things worked and some things didn't. This is another acrylic piece from my acrylic years, dated here 06, must be 2006. So this is going back comfortably almost 20 years ago, 20 years ago. Mountain scene, Drakensberg. The paint that I used yellowed. You can see how it yellowed here. I was using a white that I think I got from a factory. I let them make me a white paint. It was very thin consistency. It just wasn't good, eh? And then I went through a crazy phase. It lasted one painting. There you go. It's an abstract. I think this one must have taken me about 5-10 minutes to do. So yeah. Okay. This isn't bad. You know, so like a game scene with some sable antelope once again, I just never finished it, eh? There's many pieces that I just never ever got around to finish, but it is, you know, if I finish it, it should actually look like something. I don't know. This just doesn't have the depth and the values. Yeah, no. And here's another one that I never completed. Or I did something and then I did something over it, and it just never came around to becoming anything. So this is a very beautiful painting. I really don't know what this one is doing in this heap, in this collection. It's of the Hex River Mountains, and it's beautifully done in the fynbos hemisphere. We can see all this fynbos here in the front. Yeah, I see that there's a bit of damage to the canvas there, and that's probably why I never exhibited. But this one really shouldn't be here. It was done. It was mounted as a canvas board. It was mounted and is really strong. I have this piece over here. This is also another one of my acrylic pieces. I did this one many years ago. I see it's dated 06, so it's going some time back now. And I went for a bit of an abstract feel with that background, and then there were the gemsbok in the foreground. Yeah, it's not bad. I had this one varnished. So this is another painting of the Magaliesburg region. I really love the depth in that painting. Yeah, well, I think it needs to be revamped a little bit. It is an early work, but I think with a little bit of a revamp, it should actually be nice. And I could actually have it up for sale. And this is another piece that I haven't finished. Sort of like just went into it. I don't think I planned this out very well. I had the reference and everything, but I never really made a sketch, and yeah, I lost momentum with this one pretty quickly. So here we have some unfinished business. It was a scene in the Cape Biosphere. I think it was in the De Toitskloof mountain range. And I never really finished this one. I think I did work on it, and then I was like looking for something a little bit more dramatic, and just never really completed it. So the next three paintings was an experiment I did with oil on watercolor paper. And I pasted it on canvas board, and I then learned very quickly that this kind of way of doing oils is not archival at all. The acidity is going to eat away at the paper in no time whatsoever. What I did like about painting with oils on watercolor paper was the fact that I could really do this soft details. I could really do incredible details, and this does look really beautiful. Here is another oil on watercolor paper. This one I varnished. I varnished this with hardware varnish, unfortunately. So yes, that serves as a painful lesson as well. always use artist's varnish and use the best possible materials and equipment that you can. This really has incredible depth and detail going along here, and it's sad that I did it in this way, but I was experimenting at the time. Once again, this is the Magaliesberg mountain range, done in oil on watercolor paper, also stuck to board and then varnished. Okay, getting into some larger pieces here. This was the Meyringspoort Pass in the Swartberg Mountains, done in oils on primed board again. This was one of the larger pieces when I was experimenting doing larger pieces in primed board. I was using my imagination a lot when I was doing this one, and here now I kind of lost momentum with this one. I think it was all the greenery that just kind of like I got lost in it, and I lost my momentum on this one. Yes. So this is a more recent piece. I never completed this one. I love the color scheme in this and the depth, but I lost momentum on this. You know, once again, sometimes I look at these style of paintings and I see, well, why don't I just carry on? Well, it was really interesting to see all those works and how my process has progressed through time. And I hope this gives you inspiration not to give up on your artwork. It's just a process. We have to keep at it, and it's part of the journey of being an artist. I want to thank you once again for watching till the end. And until we meet again in this channel, have a great day further.